time, watch the 30 for 30, the New York sack exchange. The defensive end that used to hold the sack record before Michael Strahan took it confronted Brett Favre in this very awkward type of situation. And basically, this guy is upset. This guy is clearly an alcoholic. He was definitely drunk. He was definitely moving around doing whatever. And then many people are making fun of him for the CTE stuff, right? And first things first, guys, CTE is no joke. This situation is no joke, right? If I ever get to be that way, I expect my friends, my family, hell, even my coworkers, people closest to me, hell, somebody outside that I don't know that sees me doing like this, I would expect them to say something. So instead of everybody making fun of this guy, for everybody saying, CTE, whatever, right? Get out there and help him. Get out there and reach out to him, right? If you guys are willing to make those comments about somebody, if you guys are willing to understand, like, this guy's messed up, why don't you do something about it? I have reached out to him via Twitter. Obviously, probably not going to get an answer. I've reached out to him via Instagram as well. Probably not going to get an answer, but I'm at least reaching out. His people around him need to reach out. People closest to him need to reach out. ESPN 30 for 30 producers should have, like, hey, man, do you need some help? At the end of the day, CTE is no joke. At the end of the day, this whole situation is no joke. Help the man out. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse with the Man Hour. Go to manhourradio.com and manhour.co. Check out the watch page, check out the listen page, but most importantly, check out the merchandise page. Merch is out there. We got the Fugazi merch out there. My man Mark said it reminds me of them of the 1980 Bears sweater. So it just has the word Fugazi across the middle with some orange bars on to add a little pop and flavor to it. Bada bing, bada boom. $25, guys. manhourradio.com, manhour.co. Check it out. Get yourself some Fugazi shirt. If you guys do not know what Fugazi is, you must be new here. But Fugazi means fake, foolish, like the Minnesota Vikings, like the Denver Broncos, like the Indianapolis Colts. But guys, we do got a great show for you lined up today on this Wednesday, or the Thursday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk. We got a little bit of fact, a little bit of crap. We're going to talk about Justin Tucker. We're going to talk about Myles Garrett getting to 100 career sacks. Berlin 2045 is coming from the NFL. Miami Dolphins playoff run. We got to talk about that. What? Playoffs? Yeah, we're talking about playoffs. And then we got two potential Super Bowl matchups coming up this weekend. We have the Lions taking on the Buffalo Bills. We're going to dive deep into that game. And then the Buccaneers versus Chargers. Another potential playoff game. Or Super Bowl game. So guys, check it out. We do got a great show for you lined up. There's also a poll going over here on Facebook.com/Man Hour, and of course YouTube.com. The polls are live right now, so be sure to vote. Who do you guys think is going to go to the Super Bowl? What game do you think is going to be the playoff Super Bowl matchup, I should say? The Lions and Bills or the Chargers versus Bucks? But we got to welcome some people into the chat before we get too carried away. We got Laura. She says, good evening to you as well, Laura. We were listening to some Tech 9 earlier. If you guys don't know who Tech 9 is, you are living under a rock. Tech is the real GOAT. Better than Eminem, better than Tupac, better than Lil Wayne, better than Jay-Z, better than all you other people out there, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Tech 9 is the real GOAT. Let's just be honest. Got my man Mark D in the chat as well. What's up, Mark? What's up? And Jim Powell said you spelled Philly wrong on the Super Bowl preview. listen, we do have another Super Bowl preview that could potentially happen, right? Steelers versus Eagles. I should have added that into the poll. Week 15 is full of some potential Super Bowl previews, right? Eagles, Steelers, Bills, Lions, Buccaneers, Chargers. Yeah. It is. Got skiing number 1 is in the chat. Says, how your day going? My day is going great, man. My day is going great. They also asked who my favorite team is, and my favorite team is the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously. And my favorite player is Eric freaking Berry. My man John Pebbles is in the chat today as well. Says, what up, freaks? What up, John? What up? Alpha Rob says, who were you talking about? We were talking about that Gaston guy. I believe I'm saying his name correctly, but he was on the New York Stock Exchange. ESPN did a 30 for 30 on that. It is being released Friday. And if you're on TikTok or watch YouTube Shorts or Facebook Reels or whatever, many of those, that interaction with Brett Favre is out there. So I suggest you go out there and watch it. Like, it's kind of got me kind of excited to watch 30 for 30 ESPN. They do great work, right? They do some great work over there. Lucy's in the chat. He says, playoff game. It is a playoff game. Buccaneers versus Chargers, definitely a playoff game. Let's go. Casey Morgan, Mr. Pigskin, put himself in the chat. What's up, Casey? Hope you're having a grand day. And Laura says, Fugazi merch. You got to get some, baby. Got to get some. Yeah, you do got to get some. Casey says, Hollywood Brown just got cleared for the 21-day practice. He should be able to play. They did say by playoffs he should be ready to go. How much will he help the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't know. We'll slow it down. We'll figure it out. Brandon Garland's in the chat says, don't talk shit about my Lions. I heard you Chargers and Bucks have no chance of making the Super Bowl. You must be on blank. And he's not better than Eminem. Tech 9 is definitely better than Eminem. Gastino. My bad. He's a friend of yours on Facebook. Reach out to him, John. Reach out to him and see if he's alive. I mean, he is definitely not all there. And Mark D says he does love from 30 for 30. 30 for 30 does, like, I love 30 for 30. Like, that is one thing that ESPN does great is those 30 for 30s. I wish they could, push them out a little faster, but obviously it takes a lot of time, right, to do that and produce it. But every time I go on a trip back home or on a flight, I download some 30 for 30 podcasts, and I enjoy what they do. They do great work. I actually just watched the Nature Boy thing again after I watched it. It's like the third or fourth time I watched it. I love that Nature Boy 30 for 30. It's a beautiful thing. But guys, it is Thursday. We do got the Rams and 49ers playing right now. That game is streaming live over there on our Discord. If you're not watching it, feel free to jump over there if you do not have Amazon Prime. But listen to Man Hour 2, because we are live, raw, uncut every Monday through Saturday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Spoiler alert, we will not have a Friday show. My little man turned 7. We got shit to do. We going to skip school. We going to not put pants on until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And just slow it down, baby. Slow it down. But let's get into some NFL talk. Let's talk about potentially the game of the year. Let's talk about potentially the Super Bowl preview. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions taking on the Buffalo Bills. This is arguably one of the biggest games of the 2024 NFL season. This will be, hopefully, one of the best games to watch of Week 15. The Bills are coming off the loss to the LA Rams last week, and the Detroit Lions are coming off yet another win. I believe now that's 11 in a row when they beat down the Green Bay Packers last week. However, we all think Casey, my man Casey Morgan, texted me during the game, and he's like, hey, do you think the Rams have laid out the blueprint to beat the Buffalo Bills? So we got to ask the question, guys, can the Detroit Lions follow, quote, the blueprint and beat the Buffalo Bills by following the blueprint that the Rams laid out? Now, I'm sure you're scratching your head like, blueprint? They lost 2 games. Blueprint? They lost 3 games. Blueprint to beat the Rams? Yes. The blueprint, I feel, to beat the Rams, and Casey pointed this out to me, is that the Rams were rushing the ball very effectively in the first and halfway through the second quarter in that game versus the Buffalo Bills last week. Since then, during that game, the Buffalo Bills had to bring up the safety to stop the run. When you bring up a safety to stop the run, you single up on the outside, cover 0, as they like to call it, maybe some cover 1, right? and Matthew Stafford looked like a Hall of Famer MVP quarterback that he is and tore up the Buffalo Bills defense. So basically what the blueprint is to rush early, open up the passing game late, right? However, the Rams could not do it on the defensive side of the ball. They got into a shootout with Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills did about pull off the comeback win, right? So when we look at the Detroit Lions right now, guys, they are ranked second in overall offense. That is second just behind the Baltimore Ravens. They are fourth in total passing offense, fourth in rushing offense, right? On the other side, the Buffalo Bills do have the 14th ranked the 14th overall ranked defense, 9th in pass defense and 9th in rush defense, giving up 123 yards per game. So clearly, the Detroit Lions have the firepower. Clearly, the Detroit Lions have the grit, the whatever, biting at the kneecaps, whatever you want to call it. They can follow that blueprint to a T. I think they can because the Detroit Lions like to run the ball anyways. They have that two-headed monster, Montgomery and Gibbs. Give them the ball over and over and over again and let the boys eat, right? But, the question is, will they be able to rush or stick to rushing the ball early with their very, very injured defense? Will they be able to try not to get out of the game plan to follow the blueprint when the Buffalo Bills are boom, 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 right? Along with the offense, obviously their offense, meaning the Detroit Lions, is one of the best offenses in the league. They have come back down to reality the last 3 weeks or so. They only scored 24 points versus the Colts, 23 points versus the Bears, but then last week versus the Packers, they kind of got back on track and scored 34 points, right? So the real question is not will they follow the blueprint, which I think they will. I think they will run the piss out of the ball versus the 19th ranked rush defense. Can their defense contain Josh Allen long enough for the blueprint to start to take effect? That's the real question, because Josh Allen is going to go up and down the field more than likely. The man's balling out. 6 touchdowns last week, 5 touchdowns a week before that. He is balling. So can the Detroit Lions follow the blueprint and beat the Buffalo Bills? First part of the question is yes, I think they will follow the blueprint. That is the Detroit Lions MO. Let's just be honest. Rush the ball, run it down your throat, run it down your throat. Let Jordan Goff kind of nickel and dime it down the field. They are the fourth ranked passing offense, but that is their MO. Control the clock, milk it down the field, nickel and dime it down the field. However, the Buffalo Bills defense is getting better. The Buffalo Bills defense is improving each and every week. The Rams is kind of like a fluke game, right? It was dog days of the NFL season. You're flying from East Coast to West Coast. You're coming off the bye, right? It was just a recipe for disaster. Like you cannot put too much stock into that one game. But the Bills defense overall has been playing very, very well, decently the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, right? So I do think that the Detroit Lions will run the ball. I do think the Detroit Lions will control the clock. I do think that the Detroit Lions will do everything in their power to nickel and dime it down the field to keep Josh Allen off of the field. But is it good enough to beat the Buffalo Bills? That is the real question. Is it good enough to beat the Buffalo Bills? Injured defense, offenses maybe coming back. Maybe people are figuring out the offense. Like I don't know. That is the question that I'm going to ask you guys. Will the Detroit Lions run the ball, and will they beat the Buffalo Bills? Two-part question. Alpha Rob says Allen will have 5 touchdowns throwing and running. 5 total touchdowns for Josh Allen, says Alpha Rob. Spoiler alert, Alpha Rob is a Buffalo Bills fan. So I just want to put that out there. Casey, Pigskin Punter himself, says Lions are going to steamroll the Bills. The Bills suck against the run game. Casey, you are right. They're 19th ranked rushing the ball, right? They're giving up, 123 yards per game. It is tough. It is tough, right? How can you consistently be giving up that many rushing yards and expect to win? I get it. I see your point. And Alpha Rob says, no, the Bills defense played bad. Never played bad 2 games in a row, though. Alpha Rob likes his Buffalo Bills, and he watches his Buffalo Bills, and you are right. Much like the San Francisco 49ers don't win back-to-back games so far this season, the Buffalo Bills do not play back-to-back bad games. Even when they lost 2 games in a row back in week 4 and week 5, they played horrible against the Ravens. Let's just call a spade a spade. All around horrible game. Was it 41-10? Blow them out. Next week, last second field goal by the Houston Texans to beat the Buffalo Bills was 23-20. Defense played pretty good. So, Alpha Rob, you are onto something. And I don't want to be that guy. I gotta want to be that person, but maybe, just maybe, the Buffalo Bills were overlooking the Rams. Maybe the Bills since like week 12, we've been talking about this Bills-Lions matchup. Ever since the Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs, we've been talking about this matchup. Super Bowl preview. This is the game of the year. This is going to decide all the marbles, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Maybe the Buffalo Bills got in their head a little bit. Maybe they're like, Rams are just the Rams. They suck this year. Right? Alpha Rob says no pass rush was the Buffalo Bills' problem. And it's weird. It's weird that they have no pass rush. Let's just be honest. Number 57 is Espinina and then Von Miller on the other side. First of all, number 57 for the Buffalo Bills, I like him. I like him a lot. I want him on my Kansas City Chiefs. Hell, I bet you 30 other teams in the NFL want him on his team right now. The only one that want them might be the Pittsburgh Steelers because they got Highsmith, Preston Smith, and T.J. Watt. They may not just have a spot for him. But number 57 for the Buffalo Bills, he is a dog. He is consistently in people's faces, play after play, game after game, year after year. For the last 2-3 seasons, right? He has been that freaking man. And Von Miller, earn your money, dog. You're out there beating pregnant women. Go out there and beat some quarterbacks. I'm just saying. But yeah, no pass rush has been the Buffalo Bills problem, 100%. John says, absolutely effing noni something. He says, no. Go Lions, big day for Gibbs and Montgomery. Sonic and Knuckles, as they like to call. It's a funny story because my 7-year-old would be 7-7 on Saturday. We're having a Sonic and Knuckles party, right? And we were watching the Lions play the Colts. No, it wasn't. It was the last home game before the Packers. Who did they play? I cannot remember. Was it the Titans? May have been the Titans. Like either way. We were watching on TAV, and they scan to the crowd, and there's somebody dressed as a Sonic character and a Knuckles character, right? And he was on cloud 9. He's like, I like those guys. Go blue team. And I was like, dang it. Now we got a Detroit Lions fan in the house, but it is what it is. Alpha Rob says the Buffalo Bills defense scheme is meant to give up rushing yards, though. To stop big pass plays problems, they cannot stop the pass. See, and Alpha Rob, this is when I have problem with the Buffalo Bills. I have been going back and watching Buffalo Bills film, really breaking it down, really trying to understand their scheme, right? They have definitely been a bend, don't break type of defense for most of the season. However, in the playoffs, if you're going to give up rushing yards, you are going to lose football games. In the playoffs or in the Super Bowl, you are going to give up rushing yards. You're going to lose the game. You can be a bend, don't break defense, right? Whatever. You still need to be able to stop the freaking run. When a team can rush on you, that is so demoralizing. When a team can consistently run the ball down your throat, that is demoralizing. When the Lions, that's right, when I say when the Lions put up 240 some odd yards rushing on the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, it is going to be so demoralizing. It is going to be terrible. You can have a bend, don't break defense. I get it. Secondary backs off a little bit. Instead of playing 7 yards deep, you're playing 11 yards deep, right? And it's like instead of playing cover 2, you're playing cover 5 or 6, right? Or a nickel or like a dime. You are not letting people get you deep, right? You can nickel and dime it down the field all you want, but you got to stop the run. You got to. You got to. Laura says Lions going to get that dub, but it's going to be a fight and one heck of a game to watch. And John says, I'm predicting 14 flags in the first quarter, John. In the first quarter, there's going to be a lot of 14 points. Ryan Anderson says all valid points. Well, thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Casey says also the Bills, excuse me. Casey says also seems the Bills can't play from behind when it matters. That and can't recover from a blocked punt for 6. And I would disagree with you on that case because we saw last week versus the Rams, they did play from behind nearly the whole game. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they had a lead all that game at all. So they did play from behind a lot in that game. However, most of the time when they're playing from behind, they do lose, right? I believe every game they have won, they have held a lead every game, right? I mean, obviously, but what they've scored first, they didn't have to play from behind. So I can kind of see what you're saying, but at the same time, right? Josh Olson's in the chat again today. What's up, Josh? Becoming an everyday here. I'm glad to see that, man. He says Lions win by 3. We will talk about that. John People says never doubt Stafford. Well, considering Stafford doesn't play for the Lions anymore, I can doubt him. Or I will not doubt him since he doesn't play for the Lions anymore. Mark D says Vaughn has been a big disappointment. And Mark knows all about disappointment because he's a Denver Broncos fan. Von Miller was a Denver Bronco, and he was a big disappointment the whole time in Denver. Let's just be honest. Couldn't ever win a playoff game or a division championship. I'm just saying. Alpha Rob says they played nickel most of the time, which is dumb. But hey, it is what it is. Because they don't want to take Tyron Johnson off of the field in that slot corner. Then make him be better and be a regular corner. Adam Krams in the chat says, hello. So you guys are basically saying that the Detroit Lions are going to follow the blueprint. They're going to run the ball. They're going to demoralize the Buffalo Bills, make them feel like little baby ants, and then crush them in the fourth quarter. Is that what I'm getting? Is that what I'm getting? But what if the game's a high-scoring game? What if this game is a shootout? What if this game goes for blow? Both offenses are putting up 400, 500-plus yards in this game. What if it becomes a 45-44 type of score? What if it's a 44-42 like we saw with the Bills-Rams last week? What if the Detroit Lions get back on track and break 40, 50 points yet again? Who does it favor if this game is a shootout? Who does it favor if this game is a 40-plus point game on both sides of the ball? Who does it favor if it's over under 70-plus points? If you look at the stats, right, the Lions have been one of the highest scoring offenses in this season. Actually, they've been the highest scoring offense in this NFL season. They have 51 total touchdowns. Like I said, they're fourth in passing, averaging 243.8 yards per game. They're fourth in rushing, 151.1 yards rushing per game. They're sixth in red zone scoring at a rate of 67.3%. They're fourth on third down conversions, converting at 45.8%. But on the flip side of that, the Buffalo Bills have a pretty damn good offense too. They're ranked 10th in total offense. They're the second highest scoring offense in the NFL with 49 total touchdowns, 2 behind the Detroit Lions. They are 12th in passing, 229 yards per game. They're 11th in rushing, 125.7 yards per game. They're 4th in red zone scoring at 68.5% rate, right? And then they're 8th in third down offense at 43.4%. Now, when you look at all those stats and you hear those stats, the Lions are favoring each and every one of those stats, Corey's. Better passing, better rushing, better red zone. Actually, they don't. The Bills have a better red zone offense, but the Lions have a better third down rate. The Lions offensively are more stat-wise, more driven than the Buffalo Bills. They put up great numbers. Hell, they putting up 42 points versus the Seahawks, 47 points versus the Cowboys, 52 versus the Jaguars, 52 versus the Titans. The Lions score at will. But when you see all those stats, like I said, it does seem like it favors the Detroit Lions. But I feel deep down in my gut that if it were a shootout, Josh Allen will take over the game. If this is a shootout and Josh Allen is able to use his arm, mixed in with a little bit of his legs, it favors the Buffalo Bills. Because when you get into a shootout, that means that Jared Goff is probably going to throw the ball 40, 50 times in the game. What does that do? It takes out the two biggest weapons on the Detroit Lions offense, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Sonic and Knuckles, when you take those guys out of the equation, how does it not favor Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? Head-to-head, receiving core-wise, I give the Buffalo Bills the nod. Head-to-head, quarterback-wise, I give Josh Allen the nod. The Lions, like I said, have scored a lot of points so far this season. 42 points versus the Seahawks, 47 points versus the Cowboys, 52 versus Jaguars, 52 versus the Titans. But in all those high-scoring games, it was not a shootout. In all those high-scoring games, they were able to run the ball. Gibbs breaks one. Montgomery breaks one. Then they happen to throw a 10-yard out that goes for 80 yards, right? It was not a shootout. It was just the Detroit Lions were that much better than those teams. Now, the Buffalo Bills are not the high-flying scoring team that the Detroit Lions are. They have broke 40 points twice this season, right? 47 versus the Jaguars and 42 versus the Rams. The Rams and Bills game was a shootout. They ended up losing that game, but it was a shootout, so they've been down this road before. Doing it once so far this season seems to favor the Buffalo Bills. So, guys, let me ask this question. If it becomes a shootout, 40-plus points on both sides of the ball, who does it favor? Is it the Detroit Lions or the Buffalo Bills? I personally think it is the Buffalo Bills. What do you guys think? Adam Cram is in the chat. He says the Lions are banged up. The Lions have been banged up since week 5, Adam. That is just back page news at this point, right? Nobody really cares. Next man up, right? This is not coming from me. I've been trying to give the Detroit Lions an excuse, but they're always next man up. Boom, boom, boom. We don't care for it. I don't care. We had 27 guys on like IR. Next man up. Let's roll. They've been doing it, right? They've been doing it. Alpha Rob says the Lions haven't played a quarterback like Josh Allen. That is 100% correct. That is 100% correct. We were talking about this on the power rankings previous weeks, not last week, but previous weeks is kind of like who have they played, right? Not like the Detroit Lions directly, but in general, the top teams in the NFL, who have they played? And honestly, who have the Detroit Lions played? Yes, they played the Green Bay Packers. No Josh Allen and Jordan Love. Yes, they did play the Minnesota Vikings. Both really, really good teams. I'm not trying to throw shade. They're good teams. But Sam Darnold is no Josh Allen. Geno Smith is no Josh Allen. Kyler Murray, no Josh Allen. Right? Hell, the only person that I could maybe potentially compare Josh Allen to is not Patrick Mahomes, not Joe Burrow. It's probably Lamar Jackson, strictly because of his pure athletic ability, right? Able to extend the play. Mahomes can extend the play, but he doesn't have that I'm going to run you over type of mentality. Let's just be honest. Nobody has really faced a quarterback like Josh Allen unless you played the Buffalo Bills. That is what it is. John People says, stop. Von Miller's the all-time sack leader in Denver. Only because he's lasted more than 5 years. Alpha Rob saying 40-30, the Buffalo Bills win. Okay. Adam Cram says the Rams dismantled the Bills' defense so it could be a shootout. I don't know who wins that, though. Don't be waffling around, Adam. Give us an answer. If it's a shootout, who wins the game? I think it's the Buffalo Bills. If it's a 40-plus scoring point on either side, hell, 38-plus on either side, it goes to the favors of the Buffalo Bills. And John's like, no, slow it down, baby. Detroit Lions win it 42-38 in a shootout. And Josh says it'll be high scoring, but it won't be a shootout. 33-30 Lions. But Alpha Rob says, hold my beer. Kincaid and Coleman are back, baby. Coleman? Whatever, right? Kincaid, that might be a game changer. Dalton Kincaid's back, might be a game changer. Ryan Anderson, don't forget, fourth down rate is better too. You are correct. I believe in Dan Campbell's tenure, if my memory serves me correct from last week, 53% total this season for Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions, and 51% as the NFL over average. I do not know what the Buffalo Bills are. But I'm assuming that 80% performance last week definitely probably jumped it up, right? John says they catch back passes out of the backfield. So wrong. It's not really wrong, John, but you take about, so you are talking about Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They do catch passes out of the backfield, but when you take away their rushing ability and strictly passes, 50 pass attempts on both sides of the ball, you take away those two guys. Let's just be honest. You take them away. Laura says, I really want the Bills to come out on top, but I'm still going with the Lions. John says, Allen forces the ball, going to bite him twice. And to be honest, Josh Allen has been protecting the ball pretty well. Now, the last couple weeks, he has thrown some interceptions, but overall, he's had a pretty good season. Unlike Jared Goff's 5 interception game. Not 5 touchdown game, 5 interception game. But hey, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. And Laura says, K's picking the Buffalo Bills. That means the Lions are going to win. My man WB Ant in the chat says, what's up, Buck? What's up, Ant? What's up? Hope you're having a grand old day. And John says, then you get a 40-yard draw play. Probably not going to happen. But on the other side of the shootout, there's a slugfest, right? What if this is a ground-and-pound defensive type of game? I think this game is either going to be a shootout or a nice low-scoring game. There is going to be no 30-point game. It's going to be 40-plus or 20 and under. I feel that's the way this game is going to go. So what if it is a slugfest? What if it is a grounded-pounded-out type of game? Who does it favor in this slug-it-out type of game? And when you think of slugfest, I want to be very, very clear what I mean by slugfest is that it is going to be a low-scoring, pounded on the ground, defense and run the ball type of playoff game, right? Definitely in your face, bruise. The Lions are ranked 10th overall on the defense, giving up 318 yards per game. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 14th in total defense, giving up 332 yards per game. On the rushing defensive side of the ball, the Lions are ranked 5th, giving up 93.9 yards per game. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 19th, giving up 123.1 yards per game. Now on scoring defense, right? The Lions are ranked 2nd on scoring defense, only giving up 18 points per game. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 8th, only giving up 20.6 per game. In red zone defense, the Detroit Lions are ranked 4th. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 16th. On third down defense, the Lions are the best on third down defense. Number 1, the Buffalo Bills are 25th. 25th. The Lions have the 4th ranked rushing offense, averaging 151 yards per game. And the Buffalo Bills are ranked 11th in rush offense, rushing for 125.7 yards per game. The stats all seem pretty close of when the rushing and defensive rushing side of the ball. But in a game, in a grounded out, pounded out, defensive flying around, you throw the stats out. You throw everything out the window. At that point, nothing else matters. What it comes down to is the it factor. What it comes down to is the grit. What it comes down to is the in-game adjustments and just the willingness to put your body on the line. And the Detroit Lions have all of that. The Detroit Lions have the it factor. They have the grit factor. They are willing to put their bodies on the line. They are willing to make in-game adjustments. What is the biggest flaw about Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills? They suck at in-game adjustments. Dan Campbell and that whole coaching staff, I have to give credit where credit is due. They make amazing in-game adjustments. And oh, by the way, did you guys forget about the blue flu? Yes, I know the blue flu talk has kind of died down a little bit, but it is still a real thing. If you guys do not know what the blue flu is, it is after you play the Detroit Lions, you lose the next game. No matter if you win, lose, or draw versus the Detroit Lions, the next game you play, you lose that game. Because you're beat up, you're sore, you're tired. The blue flu is the real deal. If it is a slug out type of game, ground and pound defense, the Detroit Lions will win this game. If it's under a 24-point game and under score for both teams, the Detroit Lions will win this game. So, guys, with that being said, if it is a slugfest type of game, who do you think wins? Who do you think wins a slugfest type of game? Casey says, let's not get crazy, but I want both teams to lose. But I'd rather have the Lions win. Being a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I feel your pain, right? I feel your pain. Get the Buffalo Bills off our ass so we can get some time to breathe, right? Ant says, I'm finally catching a late night show. Let's go, baby. We are live every Monday through Saturday, 9 p.m. I'm glad you're here. James Frank says, this Thursday night football game is straight booty. This is why I don't like Thursday night games. It should be a great game. Rams versus Vikings, rivalry game, playoffs on the line. It should be a great game, but it's Thursday. Who really cares, right? John says the over-under is 53.5. Seems about right. 25 points per team, 27 points per team. Seems about right. Alpha Rob says, do not sleep on Cook, Davis, and Smith. Listen, I love me some James Cook. Hell, I still think James Cook just ran another rushing touchdown on the Dallas Cowboys from last season. I think he's up to about 28 now. James Cook is a dog. If you can get James Cook going, look out, baby. Look out. James Cook does have the ability to be an every down back. He does have the ability to really take the game over. However, Ray Davis, he did have a nice little game when James Cook was like down right. I believe he's from Kentucky, right? If I'm not mistaken. But the best 1-2 combination in the NFL is Gibbs and Montgomery. Let's just say it. Let's just call a spade a spade. They're the best 1-2 running back duo in the NFL. Nobody's better. Not even Pacheco and Hunt. Not even Saquon Barkley and Kenneth Gainwell. Not even Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, right? The best 1-2 punch is in Detroit. James Frank says, but my girl's 3-year-old daughter is loving it. She keeps yelling, go football. Let's go. I love it. I love watching little kids root for teams. I will post a video of my 4-year-old cheering on football on Sunday on the Pigskin Pundits, and it's freaking awesome, right? And Laura says, I was a victim of the blue flu. And I didn't go back and look at it, Laura, but I feel that every team that played the Detroit Lions the next week, they did lose, including the Houston Texans. No, I take that back, because the Houston Texans, they went on bye week and then they played the Dallas Cowboys the following week, right? So I think the Houston Texans were the only team to really break the blue flu, right? James says, Lions by 7. Okay. John's Adams in the chat over here at youtube.com/banner. He says, I'm glad you brought up what you just did. It was something like I was waiting for. The Lions never give up at all. They play through everything, and they have found every way to win and have confidence. And that is the biggest key in the NFL, right? It is not about who you have on your roster, right? Obviously, starters, having a big name player on your team is awesome, right? But let's just be honest. You are in the NFL. You are starting on an NFL team. Starters probably pretty much cancel each other out. What really makes teams better is the depth of those teams. Is the second players, right? And the third players and the fourth stringer player. Hell, the backup placeholder, right? That is where your team really starts to excel. And that is why a team like the Kansas City Chiefs have won 2 straight Super Bowls. It's because of their depth, right? That is a team like the Buffalo Bills that continue to struggle in the playoffs is because of their depth. That is the reason why a team like the Baltimore Ravens struggle in the playoffs is because of their depth. And that is the reason why the Detroit Lions are winning games right now, and why a lot of people are talking a lot on the Detroit Lions is because of their depth, right? When the playoffs start, they will start to get a lot of these starters back, right? Hell, I just read an article where they're expecting Hayden Hutchinson to be back by the NFC Championship game. If that happens, he may not be a game changer in the NFC Championship game, but you get him in the game, you take some few snaps, then you got a week off to get really into game shape, whatever, yada, Super Bowl, he could be a game changer. He might be the MVP, right? But you are exactly right. The Lions have it. And Aaron Glenn still resonates in my head. I say this like every day this week, it seems like, is like He says we coach everybody as if they're going to start the next week. And I love that. That is my new favorite saying. Coach everybody as if they're going to start next week. And I'm taking that into my daily life, into my coaching aspect here. I'm taking that and I'm using it. Do we have kids sweatshirts? Yes, I think we do have kid sizes. John says, sun shines on a dog ass some days. It does. Twice a day, right? Twice a day. Josh says, I think Richardson for the Colts should be running back and said he's gotten I think Richardson for the Colts should be a running back and said he's a good size at 6'4", 240. Oh, the quarterback. Gotcha. So there's been a lot of talk around the MVP race, right? There has been a lot of talk of who is really going to be the MVP. Is it Saquon? Is it Derrick Henry? Is it Lamar Jackson? Is it Patrick Mahomes? Is it Joe Burrow? Is it Jared Goff? Is it Josh Allen, right? And I think potentially it could come down to whoever wins this game versus the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions. It could come down to the winner takes all in this right here. So when we look at the MVP race between Josh Allen and Jared Goff, does the winner of this game, guys, win the MVP? Does the winner of the Bills versus Lions win the MVP, aka Jared Goff and or Josh Allen? And when I look at this game, it is easy to say that the winner of this game will win the MVP. I think it's clear as day. The winner of this game is going to win the MVP. However, neither of them are top 3 in passing so far this season. Joe Burrow has 3,706 yards. Geno Smith has 3,474, and Kirk Cousins has 3,396 yards passing. They're not even top 3 in touchdowns. Joe Burrow has 33, Lamar Jackson has 29, and Baker freaking Mayfield, baby, has 28. Now, Jared Goff does have the second best QBR in the league at 109, behind Lamar Jackson's 112.2. But I think the 5 interception has hurt Jared Goff a lot. They did win that game, but I think the 5 interception is still resonating in people's minds. Josh Allen has been putting up amazing numbers the last few weeks. 6 touchdowns last week versus the Rams, 5 touchdowns the week before that. So I think the MVP, win, lose, or draw, no matter what happens, it's going to be Josh Allen. As long as it is not a blowout and he doesn't throw 5 interceptions in this game, Josh Allen wins the MVP this season. This game has no bearings on it whatsoever. It's going to be great talking points. Oh, Jared Goff beat Josh Allen head-to-head, whatever, right? Lamar Jackson beat Josh Allen head-to-head. Okay, cool. Josh Allen is the MVP of the league. It is what it is. Josh Allen is the MVP. What do you guys think? Is Josh Allen the MVP? Mark D says Josh Allen is the MVP. What was it? Was it SEP VT or SEP VP and then OC VP and then no VP and now it's DC VP? Josh Allen is the MVP. Put some respect on his name, right? Put some respect on his name. John Adams says, and Alex should be back by the start of the playoffs. Imagine him having Aiden, having Jadarius Smith helping out in the Super Bowl. It would be nice. It would be nice, right? It'd be very, very nice. Laura says, Josh Allen is the MVP. Put some respect on his name, baby. And Josh Olsen is bringing in the facts for you Detroit Lions fans. Josh Olsen, I believe you are a Detroit Lions fan, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I am wrong. But he said Goff won't win the MVP this season. And let me ask you this, Josh. If Jared Goff does not win the MVP this season, what, the team is 12-1, he's putting up pretty good numbers, they're doing everything right. What does he got to do to win the MVP? Does he got to throw for 6,000 yards? What's got to happen? I'm just saying. Alpha Rob says, but Allen sat out the fourth quarter 3 times this season. But still, people don't look at that, Alpha Rob. People like my man, Lamont Brown, over at Facebook.com, consistently, Alpha Rob, people like that will look at Lamar Jackson's, 33 touchdowns or 29 touchdowns, right? They would look at his 112.2 QBR ranking. They are not going to see the obvious, like, hey, Josh Allen has not played every game. But people like the stats watch. Mark says, I'm still mad about John Elway didn't draft him. Bradley Chubb. Shake my head. It happens sometimes. James Frank says, wish it wouldn't be a QB. Barkley, but unfortunately it would be a QB. And Saquon Barkley is having a great season, right? Saquon Barkley is on pace to break the single season rushing record. But it is a quarterback-driven league, right? It is a quarterback-driven league, and it's just awesome, right? And Josh is a Chiefs fan. My bad, Josh. I didn't mean to disrespect you. But guys, who do you think is going to win the MVP this season? Is it the winner of this game, or is it cut and dry? Is it just Josh freaking Allen? I gotta say it's Josh Allen. But other potential Super Bowl matchup that we have in this Week 15 are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the LA Chargers. Both teams right now are in the playoffs. Currently in fourth in the NFC playoff pictures are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And currently sixth in the AFC playoffs are the LA Chargers. This has a chance of being the Super Bowl preview. Bucs are playing very good right now. They are surging into the playoffs, and the Chargers are kind of just like treading water in the deep end. Let's just be honest. So when we look at this game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the LA Chargers, who needs to win this game more? Who is in a must-win situation going into this Week 15 matchup, Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the LA Chargers? When you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they need to keep pace with the Atlanta Falcons. For every game that the Atlanta Falcons win, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to win as well to keep in this playoff hunt, to be in the fourth place still, to win the NFC South. The Falcons do play the Las Vegas Raiders this week. Should be an easy win, especially since they're on their third string starting quarterback this season in Desmond Ridder. The LA Chargers currently are sitting at a 90% chance of making the playoffs. However, the Dolphins, the Colts, and yes, even the Bengals could be knocking on that door pretty fast if they lose this game. The Chargers do play the Broncos, Patriots, and Raiders after this Week 15 game. All very, very winnable games and all kind of must-win games, to be honest. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Cowboys, Panthers, and Saints. All winnable games. Unfortunately, we got to look at the Falcons, too, and the Falcons play the Giants, Commanders, and Panthers, right? Looking deeper into the stats, looking below the surface, right? The LA Chargers have lost 2 of 3 games. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have now won 3 games in a row. Now, I think they both need this game bad. This is a both must-win game for both teams. Chargers need to get back on track, and the Buccaneers need to keep pace with the Falcons. But one team needs it more. The LA Chargers cannot afford to lose this game, guys. The LA Chargers cannot afford to lose this game. Even if they do lose this game, they are still sitting at 80% chance to make the playoffs. The Buccaneers lose this game, they drop to a 61% chance to make the playoffs. So I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need this game more. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to go in there and they need to dominate a decent team. I'm not saying great team. I'm kind of jumping off this Chargers bandwagon as of late, but a decent team. And truth be told, I do not see the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts or the Cincinnati Bengals making a true playoff push. Let's just be honest. Colts, done. Bengals, done. Miami Dolphins, going to be done. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys, need this game more. I misspoke a little bit earlier. But who do you guys think needs to win this game more? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the LA Chargers? Let us know. And Laura says Sam Darnold for MVP. Get out of here. Get out of here. He should be in the voting, Sam Darnold. Oh, suck it up, Mark. I see. John says Tampa Bay needs this game more. And John, I agree with you. I would agree with you 100%. Tampa Bay Buccaneers do need this game more. James Frank says Baker in the Buck. Baker Dangerfield, baby. He says, I miss Baker. James is right now sitting on his coat, like sitting on his couch in his Jerry Judy jersey, holding a picture of Baker Mayfield saying, I miss you. And Laura says, Bucks going to win. Go Baker freaking Mayfield, baby. Let's go. Listen, the Bucks need it. The Bucks need to stay hot. The Bucks need to win 4 in a row, and they need to put a 2-game gap on them, right? If you are rooting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from here on out, right, making the playoffs, making a playoff run, etc., you better be rooting for the Las Vegas Raiders. If you are a Detroit Lions fan, if you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan, you need to be rooting for the Chargers and rooting for the Falcons. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And Alpha Rob says the Browns miss Baker even more. Not wrong. Not wrong. So who needs this game more? Is it the LA Chargers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Laura says, Mark, don't let Buck call you out like that. Hey, Mark is sucking up. He's sucking up. One of the biggest issues in LA, though, guys, has been the rushing issues. They have not been rushing the ball very good as of late. If the Chargers cannot figure out their rushing game, guys, is their season over? So far this season, the LA Chargers have been priding themselves on and punishing the people that they play. They take their pride into running the ball down their throat in smash mouth defense. But right now, their running backs are having issues. Their running backs are just not very good right now, and the defense is kind of, right? When you look at it right now, they're ranked 19th in rushing and total offense, only averaging 111.5 yards per game. But that was mainly when J.K. Dobbins was healthy. Right now, he is on IR. Now, Gus Edwards is the workhorse. He is averaging 1.3 yards less per rush than J.K. Dobbins was. As a matter of fact, his longest rush this season has only been 12 yards. Ouch. Ouch. Sam Darnold has more than 12-yard rush this season, Gus. Come on, I thought you were Gus the Bust. Now, not only are the Chargers not able to rush the ball with their backs right now, a.k.a. Gus Edwards, the backs are not catching the ball out of the backfield either. They've had 3 huge drives for the Kansas City Chiefs alone last week. Matter of fact, the Chargers guys haven't had a rusher go over 60 yards since week 10. Since week 10, they are 3-2 on the season. Matter of fact, it goes even beyond that. When they don't break 40 yards rushing by a single rusher, they lose the game. Rushing is the bread and butter for the Los Angeles Chargers, and right now, they suck at it. Gus Edwards averaging 3 yards per rush. Longest 12-yard run per season. When you look at the NFL or the AFC playoff picture, they are sitting in 6th place right now. They're sitting at about a 80%, 90% chance to make the playoffs. I think they're going to end up by default making it to the playoffs. Let's just be honest. But if they cannot rush the ball at all, if they cannot figure themselves out at all, it would not shock me one freaking bit. And it would make me the happiest man in the world if they get knocked out of the playoffs and the Miami Dolphins come roaring in. Or the Colts come roaring in. Or hell, even the Bengals come roaring in. When you look at the Chargers moving forward, they play the Buccaneers this weekend, and then they play the Broncos, a really, really good defense, and then they play a Patriots team, a head coach that's fighting for his job if you read their reports, and then a Week 18 matchup that the Raiders, they don't have nothing to play for but to knock you out of the playoffs. Guys, if the LA Chargers cannot figure out their rushing game, they could very easily lose the last 5 games of the season. They could very easily find themselves out of the playoffs looking in. Hell, they could even find themselves getting blown out by the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills because they'll be the 7th seed in the playoffs again. Matter of fact, manhandled in the playoffs. They need to figure out what is wrong with the rushing game. They need to figure it out now. So what do you guys think? If the LA Chargers do not figure out their rushing game, is their season over? If they cannot figure out how to run the damn ball, is their season over? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? John says, yes, J.K. Dobbins was a big loss for the running game. Yes, J.K. Dobbins was the heart and soul of that team, right? Hell, if you flash back to earlier in the season, he had like a first 4 or 5 games of the year, he had like 100+ yards on the first 5 games of the season. That was the first time ever that a running back went from a team to a new team and ever done that. Something crazy, right? And Alpha Rob says scoring is a Chargers problem. It is. It is. When you rely on rushing the ball and you haven't broke 60 yards rushing from your running back since week 10, that's an issue. And now Justin Herbert's starting to get hurt again. Now Justin Herbert's starting to realize, oh man, maybe I'm not half man, half beast like Harbaugh says I am. And Mark's like, Chargers have no offensive weapons. He says Ladd McConkey is their best player and he's hurt. And I mean, honestly, Charger fans, speaking of which, David, where are you at? I sent you the link to be a pigskin pundit. That was our bet. You guys all heard it. It was a $10 Starbucks card for me. Pigskin pundit for David. Chiefs won, and he ghosted us, right? Ghosted us. But when the Chargers got rid of their top 3, top 4 offensive threats this offseason, kind of what did we expect, right? Quentin Johnson and Joshua Palmer have kind of been bust. Many people don't talk about it, but Quentin Johnson and Jocelyn Palmer, they were both high draft picks, right? And they've been kind of bust. Ladd McConkey is hurt, but he really hasn't been producing too much either, to be totally honest. Will Disley has been the heart and soul, and J.K. Dobbins was the heart and soul. And now they're both hurt. What do you like legit, Mark? What did Chargers fans think was going to happen when you let Cam Akers walk? When you let Mike Williams walk? When you let Keenan Allen walk? Yes, I understand they've been hurt too, but when they were in there, they always seem to be hurt on opposite times. So when they were in there, they balled out. Chargers are a good team. They got a good foundation. They are heading in the right direction. But you cannot let one injury like J.K. Dobbins or Will Disley ruin your whole season. Or hell, Hayden Hurst, right? Another tight end, another hurt, right? Josh Olson says, me and my wife drink beers together and make fun of you sometimes. Fun of me? Yeah, it is what it is. I'm assuming you're me. Are you talking about me, Josh? Let me look at it. Yeah, whatever. Alpha Rob says the problem with their running game is no passing game, and teams know it. Exactly. When you have no receivers, that kind of sucks. John says Harlow and Herbert under control. I think it meant Harblow means Herbert's under control. I don't know what that means. And Laura says Chargers have been meh this season. And you're not wrong, Laura. They have not, or they were 1-5 versus playoff teams, right? They're 1-5 versus playoff teams, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at the schedule just to confirm that. I think they beat the Steelers earlier in the season, wasn't it? No, they lost to the Steelers earlier in the season. They beat the Broncos. That is their lone playoff win. It's the Broncos. Everybody else they've lost to. Steelers lost, Chiefs lost, Cardinals lost, Ravens lost, Chiefs lost again. So, yeah, they're not very good. Not very good. Cam isn't doing anything in Minnesota. Wasn't Cam Akers on the Houston Texans? I believe he got hurt, right? I don't know. James Frank says the addition of T. Higgins would be nice addition to the Chargers offense next season. It would, but would they go out? Because when you get a player like T. Higgins, so let me preface this by I think T. Higgins is a really, really good receiver. I think T. Higgins is the glue to the Cincinnati Bengals, right? T. Higgins is what makes Joe Burrow be in MVP conversation, and he makes Jamar Chase look freaking amazing. Why? Because he is able to go over the middle and catch those balls, right? However, I don't think T. Higgins will ever be a true number one receiver. He reminds me a lot of A.J. Brown and Juju, right? They were both really good together. But once A.J. Brown left and Juju was the guy, Juju fell off the map. Then it was it was Juju and Deontay Johnson, right? Deontay Johnson was balling out. Once Juju left, Deontay Johnson kind of fell out. I think T. Higgins needs a number one receiver for him to be successful. Is Ladd McConkey it? Probably not. Is Joshua Palmer it? Probably not. Is Quentin Johnson it? Probably not. He will probably have to go somewhere like the Jets, like maybe the Vikings or the Cowboys or the Kansas City Chiefs or the Dolphins to really have a successful career moving forward. He needs to be a number 2, number 3 receiver. I don't think he is going to be the guy, right? And Alpha Rob says, but Higgins is a number 1 though. And I don't think so. I mean, he can be a number 1 if he has that solid number 2 guy. He needs somebody to counteract him, right? He cannot just go to a team and be the number 1 guy and get open, right? Like if you put Garrett from the Jets on any other team, he is going to be a clear-cut number 1 guy and he's going to get open, right? You put D-Hop on any team, he's going to get open, right? You put Tyreek Hill on any team, he's going to get open. You put JJ on any team, he's going to get open. But Jordan Addison, T. Higgins, probably Brandon Cooks, they're not number 1 guys. I just don't see it. Stephon Diggs, right? Not really that number 1 guy. Mark says Burrow is trying to restructure his deal to keep Higgins. He's trying to restructure his deal so they can sign Jamar Chase. Let's just be honest. That's the real reason why Joe Burrow is trying to restructure. Alpha Rob, it's easy with Chase getting doubled. It is. Mark says Higgins would look great in orange and blue. He would look great in Chicago. Mark with DJ Moore and Rome. I'm kidding. Waddle isn't a number 1 guy either. See, everybody's wanting T. Higgins. So, like, when you look at this, the teams that want T. Higgins, the Vikings, the Cowboys, other teams out there, they have a number 1 receiver. So, it is what it is. So, when we talk about losing this game, we said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to win this game. We said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to go out there and win this game. But what if they lose this game? What if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go into LA and lose to the Chargers this game and the Falcons beat the Las Vegas Raiders as they should? This will then put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back on the outside of the playoffs looking in. If this happens, will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get back into the playoffs? So when we look at this, the reason why if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose this game and the Falcons win this game, the reason why the Buccaneers are now out of the playoffs is because of the head-to-head tiebreaker from the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons swept the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earlier this season, like week 6 and week 9 or whatever it was, right? So they have to basically have a game advantage for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get into the playoffs and to win the NFC South. Moving forward, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Dallas Cowboys, the Panthers, and the Saints. Like I said, all very winnable games. Should win games. The Falcons play the Giants, Commanders, and the Panthers to end the season. The Falcons, however, have been playing some bad football right now. Kirk Cousins is the mayor of Pick City right now. If you want this man to run from president, he might be president of Pick City in the next 3 weeks. Let's just be honest. Not only are they playing bad, as in the Atlanta Falcons, they're on a 4-game losing streak. They have losses to the Saints, Broncos, Chargers, and Vikings. All 3 of those are playoff teams. We'll give them that. But they've been getting dominated by those teams. Let's just be flat out honest. And right now, guys, the Panthers are not an easy out for either team either. The Commanders will be a tough game out as well. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose and the Falcons win this week, it could come down to week 18, and it's all about the Carolina Panthers moving forward. So the question is, guys, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose this week to the LA Chargers and the Falcons win, do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make the playoffs? I do not think that they are 100% done if they lose. I do not think that they are totally put a fork in them. They crown the Atlanta Falcons NFC South champs right now, right? Because the Falcons are just not very good right now. Let's just be honest. The Falcons are not very good right now. So if they lose to the Chargers, awesome. The Falcons beat the Raiders, awesome. I do not see the Falcons beating the Giants and the Commanders, both of those games. They're losing one of those games. And it would not shock me one bit either come week 18 that Carolina Panthers come out there and they whoop that ass. Guys, the Panthers are not a bad team right now. Ever since Bryce Young got benched, he's come back. They've been playing pretty good football. Took the Chiefs to the brink, took the Buccaneers to the brink just 2 weeks ago, and then they took the Eagles to the brink just last week. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers cannot lose to the Panthers, and they cannot lose to the Saints. No, that cannot happen. So I do not think they're done, but I think it's a very, very risky opportunity. So, guys, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose this week to the Chargers and the Falcons win, do the Buccaneers miss the playoffs? I'm going to say yes. I am going to say yes. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? John says Tampa Bay wins out. So it doesn't even matter. They win out, they make the playoffs, and they upset the Lions in the second round. James says you cannot count that defense and Baker and Evans out. Mike Evans is out there. Or sorry, Chris Godwin's out, right? Plus those running backs that Tampa Bay has. Yes, Bucky Irving is a dog. Cade Otton is a dog. Mike Evans is a dog. Bucks are pretty good. And Alpha Rob says the Giants are definitely worse than the Carolina Panthers. And Alpha Rob, the New York Football Giants defense is not that bad. The defense is pretty good, right? The defense is only giving up 17 points per game. However, the offense is only scoring 9 points per game. So as they are bad, but that defense plays well, it's going to be a dogfight, right? And Laura says the Falcons stink because of that $180 million they wasted on Kirk freaking Cousins. I'm done. Laura says, put me in contempt because I am leaving the President's Club of Kirk Cousins. No, Kirk Cousins is no more. Kirk Cousins is no more. If you guys know, Laura was the president of the Kirk Cousins fan club long ago. She was Kirk Cousins' biggest fan. She actually took him to Target 3 days a week to get those ices, those Coke ices, and a polo shirt before game days. So Laura's and Kirk Cousins' wife were really good friends. They actually still text each other on it daily, and they do have good times. But guys, we are in hour number 2 of Man Hour NFL Talk on this Thursday edition. We got the 49ers and Rams playing over there on the big screen, projecting it out. I'm not even looking at it right now because I want to go inside and enjoy the full game, which I will do after it. And Laura says, Buck, stop lying. Laura, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. If you were a pigskin pundit, which you are, Laura, you know that you told me the story. I know the story, right? And Alpha Rob says, guess she doesn't like that no more. She is not a Kirk Cousins fan right now, Alpha Rob. No, she is not. She is still the president of the fan club and still buys him polo shirts before every game day, but she does not like it, right? She does not like it. And Kaylee says he's not lying. I'm not lying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But with that being said, guys, it is fact or crap our time here. So we scour the old interwebs. I've been putting the things up on the old Facebook.com and Twitter and Discord, and seeing what the people are saying. But seeing what the people are saying, we're going to talk about it. And we're going to determine if it is a fact or if it is indeed a crap. So let's start off with fact or crap on the day, and we're going to start with Justin Tucker. We're going to start with Justin Tucker, and that is the Baltimore Ravens kicker, if you guys do not know. As of right now, guys, Justin Tucker has been in a slump as of late, right? He has been in a slump and missing a lot of kicks, costing the Ravens games, as they like to say. However, the Baltimore Ravens are a 17-point favorite versus the New York Football Giants on Sunday. But we got to ask this question, guys. Is it fact or is it crap? Does Justin Tucker have to have a perfect day to stay on the Baltimore Ravens roster moving forward? So when I say this, I am reverting back to a couple weeks ago when Justin Tucker missed, 2 field goals in a PAT that basically cost him the game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's just be flat out honest. Justin Tucker left 8 or 9 points on the board, and they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers because of Justin Tucker. So far this season, Justin Tucker is 19 for 27 on field goals so far this season, and he has missed several PATs as well. Now, I have said it before, and I'm going to hold to it that, hey, at what point do the Baltimore Ravens cut Justin Tucker? Because if you take the name out of it, you look at his stats, you see what he was doing the previous 3 weeks before the bye week, he would have been cut week number 2. Let's just be honest. Kickers are a dime a dozen in the NFL. But since it's Justin Tucker, he's been on the Baltimore Ravens roster. So, guys, fact or crap, does Justin Tucker have to have a perfect day versus the New York Football Giants to have a job moving forward with the Baltimore Ravens? Guys, I think this is fact. I think Justin Tucker has to go out there and be 5 for 5 on PATs. He has to be 2 for 2 on field goals. He has to look like he's driving the ball and having fun out there. Justin Tucker is going to make or break the Baltimore Ravens postseason run. Let's just be honest. They are not going to be blowing any teams out. Yes, they do have one of the best offenses in the NFL. They also have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. It's going to come down to the leg of Justin Tucker. He used to be the best kicker in the NFL. He is going to go into the Hall of Fame. Let's just be honest, right? I think he still has the longest kick on record versus the Detroit Lions, even though it shouldn't have counted. Second pass, whatever. We digress, but I think it is a fact. I think Justin Tucker has to have a perfect day to be on the roster moving forward. The Ravens should have cut him 2 weeks ago. Let's just be honest. The Ravens should have cut him 2 weeks ago. When you cost him 2-3 games in a season as a kicker, I don't care who you are, Father Time is undefeated, and you got to go. I think it is a fact. But guys, fact or crap, do you think Justin Tucker has to have a perfect day? If he does not have a perfect day, does he get cut by the Baltimore Ravens? Let's just ask that. John said, he's my fantasy kicker. He better not get cut. I'm just saying. Kaylee says he's just like Evan McPherson. I like the Bengals' new kicker right now, though. Listen, Evan Money was a dog. But once you start missing some kicks, you got to go, baby. Like the old goggle boy, was it? Rodriguez, like Santiago Rodriguez, right? The Colts kicker, big old goggle man. That man was a talk of the town. He was swagging. He was kicking the ball. He was doing great. He missed a couple of kicks, bada bing, bada boom. He was gone. He was on Tampa Bay last season, I think, but you don't see him in the NFL now. Kickers are a dime a dozen. Kaylee says, I think he will have a good enough game to keep in the game. Not perfect, but he's going to have to be damn close. Listen, kickers have one job. Kickers legit have one job. They do that one job every day at practice. They kick the ball over and over and over and over and over again. I know it's pressure. I know there's a lot of elements that happen when a kick happens. We have one job. It's like to make the damn kick. I'm just saying. Being damn near perfect is not good enough. I'm just saying. You got to be perfect. Got to be perfect. John says if Denver gets him, he can kick 70 yards. Too bad the Denver Broncos will still not get him in field goal range, John. I'm just saying. And Laura says it is fact. He better kick his little heart out. I could see like the mom, you better kick your little heart out, boy. And Alfred says, slow it down, baby. It is crap until next year. It is crap until next year. Until the Baltimore Ravens can make a ploy for Brandon Aubrey from the Dallas Cowboys. Like, hey, we'll give you a first-round draft pick for your kicker over there. And Jerry Jones like, make it 2, and we got a deal. And they're like, what about Lamar Jackson for Brandon Aubrey? And Jerry Jones like, no deal. Laura says, I'm going to say fact, though. I am going to say fact. Alfred says, maybe Tucker has a bad nail on his big toe. He could. He could have some turf toe. He has been kicking the dirt a lot. Boom, right? He has been kicking the dirt a lot. So, I don't know. But guys, factor crap. Does he have to be perfect to be on the Ravens playoff roster? I think it is fact. I think it is fact. Next up here on the factor crap, guys, here on hour number 2 of Man Hour, Berlin 2025 has been announced. The NFL will be going to Berlin to play an overseas international game in 2025. Roger Goodell said that teams are wanting to go overseas now to play these international games now. So I got to thinking, and I got to thinking yet again, and pondering thoughts. I'm like, so I got to ask this question. So guys, fact or crap? Are these international games bad for the NFL team's business? When I say business, I mean making that money. When I say business, I mean hurting your brand. When I say business, I mean like looking for your team's future, right? Because let's just be honest. Most of the teams that play in those international games are not playoff-bound teams. This season, I cannot think of one international game that team is a playoff-bound team. Did the Broncos play over there? I'm not for sure. But basically, we're sending the worst of the worst teams over international seas, right? We are talking about player safety, but we're flying 4,000 miles across the ocean to play in Germany. Whatever. When I say it is bad for business, so I'm saying this is fact. I'm saying this is bad for business because when it's bad for business, let's look at last season, right? Me and my man Arthur Brown, we were right here on the Man Hour last summer, last June. Schedule comes out, we're breaking down those games. It was Miami versus Kansas City Chiefs. He is a Dolphins fan, I'm a Kansas City fan, and we're like, hey, man, this is a Miami game. Actually, it was supposed to be it was a Kansas City Chiefs home game. We're like, hey, let's go to this game, baby. Let's check it out. Bada bing, bada boom. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, they're playing in Germany. We're like, well, that's dumb. So not only did the Kansas City Chiefs lose a home game, right? They lost millions upon millions of dollars of revenue from having that home game. The city lost millions upon millions of dollars from having all that influx of hotels and people in there, right? Guys, the international is bad for the NFL brand. I understand international fans are awesome. Like, you want to be global, you want to do this, you want to do that, whatever. But international games suck. There's like Thursday night games. Nobody wants to watch them. Mark's like, football all day. Yeah, Mark, great. Now we got to wake up at 6 a.m. to catch the 8 o'clock game and be up till midnight to watch football. Awesome. I don't really want to do that. I really don't want to watch the Patriots and Browns play over there or the Patriots and the Jaguars play. I really don't want to do that. International games, guys, suck. I hate the international games. What do you guys think? Laura said the Vikings did. I forgot about that because that was the beginning of the end of the Minnesota Vikings. When I said, hey, they're going to go on the losing streak, right? They played international because Sam Darnold threw the ball in the dirt a couple of times or the turf, whatever, yada, yada. I'm like, hey, this team's bad. And you're like, oh, no, they're a great Buck. And they lost 2 in a row. That's right. I forgot about that. And Kaylee, you're speaking facts. She says, I hate overseas games. I hate the fact that we are trying to... So, listen, I would be okay if international games were in the preseason. I would be okay if the international games were, hell, week number 1, right? Well, whatever it is, early in the season. But week 10, week 11, week 9, week 7, like, no, we don't want that. Alpha Rob says, are the Jags going over there too? Listen, the Jaguars already played 2 games over there every year. Why not make it 3? Why not make it 4 at like at this 4, like at the start, right? And Mark's like, I kind of like the 7 a.m. start. I don't. Sundays are the one day that I got to sleep past 5 a.m. And John says they should play NFL Europe versus NFL USA. In a preseason, sure. Why not? Do it preseason. Hell, wasn't it this year when Notre Dame and was it USC played in like Ireland or some of that? Like, it's just stupid. Alpha Rob says, fact, football is an American sport. Other countries don't have the same passion. Now, I wouldn't say that because I did talk to the International Fan of the Year for the Detroit Lions 2 weeks ago, right? And he was very passionate about the Detroit Lions. He's been to more NFL games than I have been to, right? I've been to like 15, 16. He has been to like 40 of them. Like, there are some very passionate fans over there. I don't know where he gets his money to fly over in this area and stay for 3 or 4 days and go to the game and fly back. I don't know what he does, but there are some passionate fans, right? There are some passionate fans. And Laura says, yes, I do like the overseas games. Football from wake up to sleep. Then that's a happy, happy day. But Laura, you can't have a happy, happy night because you've been watching football all day and you're tired. If you catch the drift, you know, right? Ben Kerr said it was Georgia Tech. Okay, you're right. I thought it was USC. I guess USC plays late. But yeah, Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. John says, send the Chiefs. They did last season, and it sucked. The one game that I wanted to go to last season, we're going to go play in Germany, right? They're going to see. But anyways, speaking of the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett, guys, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Defensive Player of the Year. Guys, Myles Garrett just needs 0.5 sacks to get 100 career sacks. This will be the 4th fastest ever in NFL history if he can do this. So, guys, fact or crap, will Myles Garrett be the 4th fastest player ever to get 100 career sacks this weekend versus the Kansas City Chiefs? And on this service, I'm like, 100% fact. Is Myles Garrett versus one of the worst offensive lines the Kansas City Chiefs have ever had, right? But like a good reporter that I am, like a good little boy that I am, and do my research and looking at things and base it off some type of facts and just not a gut feeling, I started Googling. Kansas City Chiefs offensive line ranking. Pulled up PFF. Did you guys know that PFF has the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line ranked 3rd best offensive line in the NFL? What? That shows you how bad stats are. Numbers do lie to you. They are ranked 1st in run block win rate. They're ranked 4th in pass block win rate. So the offensive line is pretty good, actually, right? 3rd best offensive line in the NFL. And if you want to go back from week 1 until week 8, the first 8 weeks of the season, Patrick Mahomes was only getting sacked at a rate of 0.7. He was not getting sacked very, very often. But since week 8, that has damn near tripled. He's getting damn near sacked 3 times a game since week 8. Left tackle clearly is a big issue for the Kansas City Chiefs. Humphreys is hurt now, and we don't even know if he's coming back. I don't even know what the injury is. They just said hamstring. Is it a cramp? Is it whatever? Whatever. Simple fact of the matter is, Myles Garrett is going to get his. We might see a dive like Brett Favre did with Michael Strahan. Let's just be honest. We might see a dive. Browns are not going to be competing with the Kansas City Chiefs at all, like in this game. Sorry, James. My boys are going to stair-step your boys all game long. Probably not, but Myles Garrett is going to get his half a sack. The real question is how soon is he going to get it? Is it the first quarter? Is it the second drive? Is it the second quarter? It's going to be in the first half. It's just a matter of how fast he's going to get it. So, guys, this is a fact. But you got to ask the question, guys. Is it fact or is it crap? Will Myles Garrett be the 4th fastest player in the NFL history to get 100 career sacks? He just needs 0.5 sacks to get that. Will he get it? Fact or crap? Alpha Rob says, clear as day, as plain as the nose on my face, it is fact, baby. And James says, that motherfucking guy, he most definitely will. Put some respect on that man's name. He might have 5 sacks in the game. Let alone 0.5, you're going to get 5, he says. Let's get it. And Alpha Rob says he gets at least 2 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. He might get 2 in the first drive. Let's just be honest. And John says, yes, Patrick will run into him. I doubt it. Patrick Mahomes is tired of getting hit. He's getting tired of getting hit. Kaylee, don't hate because my team is better than yours. I love it. Talk that shit. And James says, yeah, he will get 2. Honestly, James, Alpha Rob, Laura, everybody else watching out there, it would not shock me one bit if he gets a sack on the first drive. Pin that guy's ears back and let him go get it, baby. Just let the pressure get off of you. First play of the game, boom, sack. Send that all out blitz. I don't care. I don't care if you give up a potentially 80-yard pass play. I don't care. Go get the quarterback, Myles. Very first play. Do it. And Alpha Rob says, hopefully Jameson won't throw a pick 6 because if the Browns get 24, they win. Not wrong. Kansas City Chiefs have not broken 30 yet this season. They've scored 30, but they haven't broken 30. And Laura says, I want to see the Browns win this, but the Chiefs will win it in the fourth quarter. Last play of the game, I think John said, right? And she says, fact. James says, if he gets it, that defense is going to be hyped. Y'all be playing it on the Discord. I will be playing it on the Discord, James. I will be playing this game on the Discord. Laura says, I want to see Mahomes eat a lot of dirt on Sunday. Mark says the Chiefs tackles are terrible. The left tackle is. Right tackle's best in the game, baby. Best in the game, baby. Slow it down. But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. That is going to be it for the week. We'll be back Saturday. No show tomorrow. It is my little man's birthday party. We're going bowling, and I don't want to be pressed for time whatsoever. I want to give my son, my family, my mom and dad, aunts, uncles, all the full attention. And so no show tomorrow, guys. I'll be back Saturday. Mark will not be here Saturday. Huffy probably won't be here either on Saturday. So it'll be me doing solo show. We're doing week 15 NFL preview show. Guys, there's still time to get in your week 15 NFL picks to win that $2,000 bills, y'all. Head over to any of our pick'em pages over there on facebook.com. Click on the link, bada bing, bada boom. You are in there. James says, I'm buying in on the Discord. The Discord's free, James. Discord is free. So I will post a link over there on our broadcast channel. And of course, I'll post it on Saturday too, James. So on Saturday night, I will post our Discord link. I will pin it in the description below. And then on our broadcast channel over at facebook.com/man hour NFL talk, we do have the broadcast channel, and I do post it every Sunday there once the game starts. So I'll be sure you get it, James. Alpha Rob says KC gets lucky. Garrett gets a sack in the fourth quarter. It trips Mahomes and throws a TD. Laura says, tell little man happy birthday for me. I definitely will. My little man isn't so little. My man's damn near a freaking teenager. He's 7. No, he's 7. He's 7. But until then, guys, we'll see you Saturday. Live, raw, uncut, 9 p.m. East Coast time. Week NFL 15 is here. Guys, enjoy the rest of the Thursday Night Football. Rams versus 49ers. Until then, we out.